call a special city council meeting of Friday, April 30th to order. And could city manager Norm Regis lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
McClure's not here, Osinga's not here, Cease,
Here.
Bachman's not here, Casagrande,
Here.
DeMoss,
Here.
Terry.
Yes.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Madam Clerk, I see no one in the chambers. Did anyone submit citizen comments or would like to be called on the phone?
We have two to be read.
Okay.
So the first one is from Daryl Schaefermeyer. I will be unable to attend tomorrow's special council meeting and am offering the following statement to be read during public comments. Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, this violates the city charter, plain and simple. I understand that Acting City Manager Norm Regis, within his sole authority to do so, has appointed an interim finance director to serve until a permanent director can be recruited and hired. This matter should be withdrawn or tabled indefinitely, as it violates Seward Charter Section 3.7, restrictions of power of council as follows. The council and its members shall not direct the appointment or removal of any administration officer or employee of the city and shall deal with the administrative service of the city through the city manager only. The proposed council action would direct the acting city manager to rescind his action in appointing an acting finance director, which is contrary to and in violation of Seward Charter Section 3.7. Daryl Schaefermeyer, Bluefields Drive.
Thank you. Were there any other comments?
Vice Mayor Bachman asked me to read one from him under citizen comments as well. To my fellow council members, citizens of Seward, city administration, and the Honorable Mayor, I apologize for my inability to attend tonight's meeting. As the summer is nearing, business is picking up, and finding appropriate staff is proving to be difficult this year. I am writing because I feel passionately that we need an experienced CPA now. We have gone too long without proper financial guidance. The last budget was proof of that. It is of the utmost importance that we find the appropriate help at this time. If there is someone in this city that can fill our needs immediately, it would be negligent of administration to not act in the best interest of all of the people of Seward, not just a select few. We must act now to ensure that we are ready for the future, to look ahead and have a sound plan. Please keep in mind we are representing the best interest of all of Seward. Thank you for your sacrifice and time. Sincerely, Vice Mayor Bachman. The comments made are those of my own and not of the City Council of Seward, Alaska.
Thank you. So, Madam Clerk, I'll just check again. Are there any other comments?
No, that's
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. We have nothing on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion and a second for the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
If I don't know if this is possible, but can I make an amendment to the A1 new business, other new business? If
Sure.
it's not
I mean,
substantial change?
Yeah, I mean, the agenda's on the table. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'd like to strike on filling the position and put in to hire a CPA.
Okay, so discuss the
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
just to check, so what it will read is discuss the recent vacancy of the City of Seward Finance Director position and,
Give administration direction to hire a CPA.
just to clarify,
To hire a contracted CPA actually is probably what I should put in there.
so we're just, so that's your motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Do you want to discuss that? I mean,
Mm-mm.
okay.
As long as it's okay.
Yeah, let's take a vote on it.
Alrighty. So striking filling the position and adding to hire a contracted CPA. Osinga is not here. Casagrande,
Yes.
DeMoss,
Yes.
Cease,
Yes.
Mayor Terry.
Yes.
This amendment has been approved. And then voting on the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. Casagrande,
Yes.
Cease,
Yes.
DeMoss,
Yes.
Mayor Terry.
Yes.
The agenda and consent agenda have been approved as amended.
Okay. Okay, so now we're not on to other new business. And the title of that is discuss the recent vacancy of the City of Seward Finance Director position and give administration direction to hire a contracted CPA. And I know that two council members did call this meeting. Did you, I'll turn it over to both of you.
So I'll just go ahead and start, if that's okay. So I put a timeline here just to basically do an overview of where we've been since August 2019. Essentially, we've only had an on-site finance director for, I think it was 3 months, since August 2019. And so we're going on year 2, almost completing year 2 of not having a finance director on site. And when I heard of the unfortunate news of losing our most recent finance director, whom I was extremely excited to work with, it was a really good hire. Like, I was really pleased with who we had. Didn't get to work much with her, but what I did see seemed very simple and clear and easy to find. And just the state of some of the stuff that has been before us in finance and the stumbling of, where we're at in our audit with the budget and the new budget coming, feel like we really need somebody with a vision and and I feel like, and I don't know and I'll never know, that maybe there's some catching up to do to get things to a point where somebody can step in with a vision, and whether that is our interim that has the vision. And congratulations on appointing. I'm not here to discuss your appointment of the interim. I'm really happy that you were able to find somebody so quickly, but I really feel that what administration needs is some support, and to hire for 6 months a CPA to come work on site, I don't think will hurt anything. I mean, we've been doling out money as contractors for CPAs thus far, and with budget coming, and we have CPI projects coming on, and all those. So I just look at this as an opportunity, and I'll go ahead and just make a motion if that's okay with everyone. I'd like to make a motion to direct the city manager to go out for RFP no later than May 7th, 2021, to hire a contracted CPA to work full-time and on-site for 6 months with an hourly rate not to exceed $70 per hour, and to begin working no later than June 11th, 2021. Period. RFP to close May 28th, 2021. And if I can get a second, we can open it up for discussion.
I just have one question.
No, Ken has a question. Is there anyone that wants to make a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
You said,
Councilmember Steves?
you said June, and this says in here May 10th,
Yeah, I'm making a motion that's different than
what that sheet is.
what
Okay.
that sheet is.
Okay. Sorry.
Do you want to, I guess, I don't disagree. I think that we are here to help administration. I guess, and I've been talking to Stephen this week, I do have some concerns that our audit hasn't been completed because the material's waiting from our side,
Okay.
not the auditor. I have some concerns because we haven't been able to produce for our auditors, the financials that they've been asking, the information they've been asking for. The only issue I have, and I think that this is doable, is I don't see how we can, not knowing what people come back, I don't know how we can say you have to hire a person by this date. That's the only thing I have concerns with. I wrote down, so I think I'm hearing, let me just understand. So go out to RFP by May 7th to get a CPA to work full-time and on-site with $70 per hour, And on May 7th, that RFP will close on May 28th, which seems like a decent, timeline to have it out there if there's people responding. My concern is if you get one person responding, and we're not dictating who our city manager hires, that's up to him who gets picked for the position.
It's up to this grading of the RFP.
Yeah, up to the RFP, excuse
Okay.
me, up to the RFP process on who gets, chosen. But the hire date is what concerns me. Because
Okay.
what if there's only one person that applies, then that pigeonholes people into hiring maybe not a good person. So
Okay.
that's my only concern. And maybe administration has other concerns, but I would hate to force,
Okay.
like, I'm fine with the whole process, it's just saying someone has to be hired by that time.
Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
So, what I don't want to see is, well, we got someone, they're the highest scorer, and they'll be here August 28th.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, that doesn't really help because we're going to be like way into budget by then. So, what is a good deadline?
So maybe I might ask administration, because I think I see what the council member's trying to do is to put more funding or put more position, help.
Help.
Like, I guess we can't control who you hire or when that person is available.
Okay, so, council, I hired somebody to do the job, and she's fully capable, she's done budgets, she's done audits. She'll jump right in there as soon as Jen is done, and I think we'll be fine there. There's 5 open finance positions in the state of Alaska right now, they're not being filled. And to find a CPA that can come in, if there is a CPA that can come in, then there's a reason why she's out there still, or he or she are still out there. So that's a little concerning there, because if they don't have a job now and there's 5 positions open, there's a reason this person or that person wasn't hired. And so, I mean, it's like we hired somebody, and GovHR is out right now, we're paying them a contract to go out and find us one. They're going through the states, going through their process like they did the city manager. They're doing their process to find somebody for us. And as soon as they get somebody, they're supposed to be letting us, just like the city manager. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to do it right. So,
What about a recommendation back to council by June 11th?
Can I ask a quick question? If the RFP goes out and we don't get anyone, if we get responses by May 28th, I guess what would the holdup be for employment by June 11th?
I guess background checks.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Background checks, if they're out of state, we're saying they have to be here by June 11th.
Right.
Those are the variables I don't know about.
Well, can't we renegotiate terms of at that time, if we don't, can't we?
With the target date of June 11th? It has to come back to council anyways.
Right.
Councilmember.
When do we, and again, administration, I have no doubt that your interim is completely capable. That is not why I'm doing this. I don't doubt your hiring skills or who you've appointed. I'm really happy with that. I just want some consistency, and so what it looks like to me, hearing the word interim, because I didn't hear that she was hired permanently for the position, we're gonna have another turnover somewhere. And I don't know if it's gonna happen 30 days from she starts, a week from when she starts, 6 months from when she starts. But all I know is we have a 2-year budget cycle coming up. And I want there to be all the support in the world so that even me as a council member, if I need information, I'm not told it's gonna take 30 days to fill a records request. And I don't see why there's not a large, okay, so I went to school for accounting and I went to school to become a CPA. And my whole reasoning for having CPA and nothing less is it's a huge commitment. You go to school for 4 years, you do a 1-year internship, it's basically a 5-year degree, and then you have to pass an insanely hard exam that most people fail. It's like one of those, it's like a law exam, right? So it's not just somebody that got a great job that learned the ropes as they went along, and that's the ropes that they know. It's somebody that knows all of the policies and, they're up to date and up to speed. And so,
Can I
yeah.
clarify something really quick? So you're not expecting this contracted CPA to be the interim finance director?
No.
You're totally affirming the city manager's right and his direction
Absolutely.
with the interim finance director, that's not a replacement or a comment?
No way.
Okay.
Nope. No. And so all I want is
An
extra
additional.
support. And I don't know if maybe we need to scale it back to 3 months. I feel like 6 months is really good with where we're at, assuming that this starts June 11th. But basically, I would like to see a CPA on site somewhere close to where we're getting through budget, so that everything else can keep up to speed.
Madam Clerk, could you read the motion, or Brucey, could you hand it to the clerk to
I'll
read?
look at it.
Okay.
Direct city manager to go out to RFP no later than May 7th, 2021 to hire a contracted CPA to work full-time and on site for 6 months with an hourly rate, NTE $70 an hour, and to begin working no later than June 11th, 2021, RFP to close on May 28th, 2021.
So what would be the expectation if someone can't start by, so like if it's an RFP and a contract, then it has to come back to council.
Correct.
So if on May, I'm gonna take my phone out and look at the calendar,
Okay.
unless there's one on our calendar. But,
Madam Mayor, this is city personnel, so that would be up to us to not go off RFP. We hire somebody, we went out with GovHR, we advertised in all kinds of places in the state to hire somebody. All they need to do is apply, and that's what we're waiting on. Right now, we just started. Going out for an RFP for personnel is not right.
So Norm, I just want to clarify again.
I understand, go ahead.
Okay, I am not, this is not a finance, that's why I made the motion in the beginning to cross out finance director, that we're going out for a contracted CPA, like basically somebody to come be on site 40 hours a week in the finance department to help support your finance director.
I know that we went out, when we talked to Grant last time, what was, remember the price was for, they had some that could come in to assist us, and I think the price was
215.
$215,000.
215 an hour.
Huh?
Well, so I guess I've got a couple questions, if I may, Madam Mayor. So, I guess my first question is, does this body feel that $70 an hour is realistic for a contracted CPA? So, our posted is a huge shortage. Our city manager hasn't even found housing yet. It took us 6 months to select and hire and onboard a new city manager. So, I think if this is truly the intention, I would just suggest that we evaluate the rate of pay and the timeline, because like I said, it took us 6 months to get a city manager in place, and frankly, the rate of pay, I don't know that we're going to get qualified candidates to be attracted at that rate of pay if they're on a contract basis on site. Not pushing back, I'm not suggesting that you make an amendment. I just wanted to posit that. I mean, when we look at the forensic audit RFP, you're typically looking, and Norm said, like in the $200 an hour range. Those are my comments.
and I just want to clarify really quick, because, it's on the table, Charter 3.7, the council and its members shall not direct the appointment or removal of administration officer or employee of the city. We're doing neither of those things. We're not asking for anyone specifically to be hired or fired, and shall deal with administration services of the city through the city manager, which that motion is through to the city manager. It's for a contract like any other contract that we would do. So I think we're clearly, I know the attorney was made aware, and he said we could call him, but he obviously didn't say that we were violating any city code, so he's aware of what the meeting tonight is regarding. So I just want to clarify that for both the public and just to have it on the record.
Okay. If I can I make an amendment to my amendment?
To your motion.
To my
'Cause I don't
motion?
think we have an
Sorry,
amendment yet
to
on
my
the
motion.
Mhm.
So I'd like to strike June 11th and make it July 1st. And if I can get a second, I'll say.
I'll second.
Or maybe your second will agree. And Madam Clerk, can we keep it the same motion if her second agrees? Or does it need to be? It's fine, it can be a separate motion, I was trying to simplify.
Make it
Go
easier.
ahead.
The reason I hear what you're saying as far as a timeline, so, I think it will be rushed to require somebody to come right to work because they won't find out if they were awarded the RFP. May 28th is a Friday, so you'll probably open them on the Monday. I was given a week for
It
that.
has to come to a council meeting.
It has to come to a council meeting, right,
Yeah.
right. So even that, I'm sorry, I was totally missing out on that part of the timeline too. So that will give us enough time for the whole month of June for it to come to a council meeting and to do whatever, and for whoever is the winning bid to hopefully have at least two, because it would probably come before us on the first June meeting, which is like June 11th, right?
No, it's June
June.
14th.
Oh, there you go, June 14th. And then that'll give that person a couple weeks to come up with a plan.
So voting on just the date change,
Okay,
Madam Clerk.
So striking June 11th and making it July 1st that they would begin working. Cease,
Yes.
Casa Grande,
yes.
Demas,
Yes.
and Mayor Terry.
Yes.
This motion has been approved. This amendment.
Okay. So now the main motion's back on the,
Do you want me to read it as amended?
no, I think we have it. So I guess the question would be, if we don't get anyone for 70 an hour, we don't get anyone for 70 an hour.
Right.
So Madam Mayor, so I have a couple questions. So one, if we hire a contractor and he's supposed to start, or he or she's supposed to start on this date, July 1st, and we sign a contract, Gulf HR comes, gives us somebody July 2nd for a full-time finance director.
That's a great question.
So that would be great. That would be exactly what I'm hoping for.
So we hired somebody for one day.
Well, I think
as
you're
our-
saying we keep them consecutively in place for and have extra people thrown at the finance department because it's been so long.
For 6 months. So this is a 6-month contract.
Regardless if there's
And we would hope that exactly what you said, that you guys are able to hire a full-time finance director, and that full-time finance director can come into this new show with really great helping hands. But that's the whole intention of this contract, is to have support.
is there another question?
Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna keep the current finance director I just hired, okay? And we're just gonna continue working through, and Jen's gonna continue to work through, because she's already been working on the budget and stuff like that, and the audit. And then I'm gonna ask the attorney on Monday about RFP. I understand it's a contract, but I just wanted to be clear. And we'll have him help us out if he says it's okay to go. If not, we'll let you know, and we'll come back to you if it's not allowed. Fair enough?
There's freelance CPAs, they're out there, there's people that are retired that just might take an extra job, and maybe nobody responds to this, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Okay,
Well, and then.
and then just,
I
oh,
just want
sorry.
to ask a question to when folks that scheduled this special meeting. I guess, if no one responds, or honestly, if someone responds that administration doesn't feel is qualified, I mean, that's not under their control. Like, if someone responds but doesn't have a CPA, you wouldn't expect them to be hired under those conditions, because it's clear.
Right.
Okay. Norm, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay, I was lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I think you said it, because we would have full direction on who we would hire.
And then you'd bring it to
Bring it
council
before council in the contract form. Like I said, we'll ask the attorney, and then we'll, like you said, if it's fine,
They
then
need to be
I'm,
responsive to the RFP.
yep, we'll get it out.
Go ahead.
So, with all that said, you normally read the RFP scoring criteria. I
We will
don't
read
have
it
a calendar in
at,
front of
we'll
me.
read it at the next council meeting,
Which is,
May 10th? No, May 10th,
okay, so you'll read it to us after it's already gone out.
correct,
Okay.
like we did before with the other ones.
Oh, right.
So I guess, I mean, I feel comfortable that we
Yeah.
trust your judgment. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
gonna be a contractor that you're gonna have to deal with
Exactly.
and direct. Okay.
So before we call for the vote, I just want to be very clear that we are not filling the position of finance director, and I apologize for any confusion that I made to administration or the public in the title, but the agenda statement very clearly explains exactly what the intention is and what the recommendation is. So,
Madam Clerk, let's call for the vote.
So, voting on the motion as amended, do you want me to read it, or?
Sure, that'd be great.
Direct city manager to go out to RFP no later than May 7th, 2021 to hire a contracted CPA to work full-time and on-site for 6 months with an hourly rate NTE $70 an hour, and to begin working no later than July 1st, 2021, RFP to close on May 28th.
Okay, call for the vote.
DeMoss,
Yes.
Cease,
Yes.
Casagrande,
yes.
Mayor Terry.
Yes.
This motion has been approved.
Next on the agenda is citizen comments. Madam Clerk, did anyone sign up to be called or submit additional citizen comments?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Administration comments?
Yes, Madam Mayor, so, go off RFP and we get somebody, we just have to come back before council too with a budget amendment.
Yep.
We have to fund it.
That sounds good. Councilmember Casagrande, I'll let you kick it off.
No comment.
Councilmember DeMoss?
No comment.
Councilmember Cease?
No comment.
Well, I am gonna make a comment that, I think Melanie Molina is gonna be great as the interim finance director. I think it's just great timing, and I'm glad she was willing to take the position. And I think that, I hope that, this is taken in the spirit of that we want to make sure that everyone has, the tools that they need and the support that they need, to make sure that everything's taken care of at the city. So I am going to dismiss the meeting at 1800.